Well, I'm glad you're still with us. Now, this is a discussion I'm quite passionate about. Shouldn't be judged on that one, but well, you know, as a journalist, I'm probably not supposed to take sides. But this is a very a discussion that many of us need to take on. Many of us in all aspects need to take on. And today we're looking at women workers here in particular, and we're looking at ending violence against women at workplaces. And of course, there's a particular theme here that we shall eventually get into. But with me in studios is BIRUNGI ANNET. She's a nurse by profession, and she's still the secretary for the National Organization of Trade Unions. Of course, the Women's Committee here. You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Yes. I'm glad you've made time because it started off as a very cold morning. But very interesting. You are a nurse by profession. This is something you decided to take on and do on your own, right? No one told you you can be a nurse. You wanted to be a nurse. And this is something you're still doing?
Yes, I'm still a nurse. I work in Bulago Hospital as a nurse. Yeah.
So getting on to being a secretary of the NOTU Women Committee, how did this go for you?
I'm from Uganda Nurses and Midwives Union, a union that looks at the welfare of the nurses and midwives in the country. So we have National Organization of Trade Union as our affiliation body, our umbrella body. That is where all unions affiliate. And we are around 33 unions. So as a woman, I stood to campaign and have a position as a secretary for women in order to defend the women. So that is from different organizations. We collectively get into a conference that is a pre-women conference, and they elect you and you become their leader. The committee has around 9 members, and their secretary. We also have a chairperson. So that is how we can be empowered from our unions. Then you go to national level. You can even go to IPUC Africa, like that.
Okay. Now this is quite interesting, because oftentimes we're seeing that maybe women are vulnerable. That's what we've come to terms with, but I don't think we should, because then we're seeking things like empowerment. When you talk about empowerment, before we get into the issue of violence, what are we talking about if we're saying women empowerment?
Women empowerment. You see, when you look at gender equality, you find that women are marginalized, and it has been very, very difficult for us to come out, especially to have positions where you can make decisions. You find that men decide for us in most workplaces, and we really want to empower the women to see that they can have those voices raised as National Organization of Trade Union. Okay.
Now, you have a dinner, yes, Women Workers Dinner, and the theme is ending violence against women at workplaces through women empowerment. Now, what are we talking about here? Are you specific on the kind of violence, or we're generally looking at so many things when it comes to violence?
And when it comes to violence, we shall be talking about all types of violence: physical violence, economic, also sexual harassment. And we shall have, this is just a talk, it's a new initiative from the committee. We are going to have all the people, the women from ministries, civil society, also trade unions themselves. We want to sit down and have a talk and share the experience. What did we go through when we are at work? And how can we fight this violence? How can we have the platform of communication, a network, so that we share and form that communication network where we shall be reporting our issues and sharing, and also seeing how to bring it up to the decision makers and policy makers.
Okay, so by involving the women themselves to become decision makers.
Yeah.
That's a very good move. So let me ask you, what strategies are you looking at? Because see, I being a journalist myself, we've been, can I say accused, or it's probably the truth, that women, the way we represent the women in itself is not helping at all as well.
Yeah.
Are you involving some, of course, away from, are you involving journalists as journalists, away from just inviting female journalists, for example? Are you going to probably involve the media as well? Because it is one of the biggest
it's
players
a group which has been violated. It's true. On this day, we have all the people, all the workers in the house.
Okay.
And we have other strategies that we are laying out. We are trying to move to see how to make sure that each department or each sector has a workplace policy, has a table where a desk where all these violences, all kind of violences are reported. It is true that most women are being harassed and they also don't have the knowledge on how to come about it. So this platform, or what I can say the network, going to be formed, which we are launching on this day, it is going to make sure that it lays down strategies on how to end violence against women and girls. Because when you look at most workplaces, like as I've told you, the bosses are not bothered about what is taking place. You find that someone has nowhere where they can report. The human resource also does not have where they can take the issues. So you report, but the issues end there. There's nothing that can be taken on. Most people have gone silent, actually. Most people have gone silent.
And just not so far back, someone was saying, well, so many young women get into the workforce but do not last long there. Some of the reasons, like you say, the violence within the work system, because then someone, for example, people are looking for a job, there's what, the carpet interview kind of style. Then sometimes if you need a promotion, that's the same thing, even when you might feel that maybe a woman is in that position of power. So are you looking at a national kind of body, or are we looking at each probably sector having a specific
as National Organization of Trade Union, an umbrella body that looks at all the workers in the country. We are now looking at enforcing and making sure that each workplace has a workplace policy against violence, on violence against women, or violence, or a desk for gender-based violence. Because we are looking at most people being violated, but the report network, the mechanism is not seen, it's not clear. Like the journalists have been harassed, we are aware, but the union has tried hard, the union for the journalists, but still there is some gap of communication. Some people still don't have the knowledge. They think there is no way how they will be helped. You have seen people going abroad to work, but they are harassed there, but even some people just, we come to know on the media, like in WhatsApp and what. So we need this system to be straight, to be like put in place for better reporting.
Okay. So are you involving the men with this mission, if I could call it?
Yeah. Most people have been asking us that women workers dinner, are you going to be alone? But I have to call all the men there, because actually men are the ones who harass us. So if they are not there, I will be talking to no one. So I think everyone needs to come, especially men actually, and they should come and buy tables so that they can be in front there and see how we share. Because with these talks, I believe men will go when they are changed. You see, most people, they don't know what goes along violence. The emotional violence alone which I think men are doing so much often at home and even outside. You find that a man can tell a woman that you must finish that work. They say, I need this work by tomorrow. And even is not requesting in the office, telling you that you must do that work, or else you will be chased, because I don't even see what you are doing here. And yet every worker that is in the office is on this woman. So we need to let men know that psychologically, when a woman is tortured, the production goes low,
no wonder
the morale goes low. Even
no wonder you're a woman. So, okay, so these are some of the things you're really trying to address. Have you had any challenges in, okay, I know that probably you're one that's pushing for women issues, but have you had challenges in regards to pushing for what we would call involving the women in the mainstream, or finding a gender kind of balance in workplaces? What are some of those challenges that you can say, well, this has been the most common, that away from just the violence, but some of the things you realize that, well, as much as we're fighting against this, this is why it is still happening? I've seen this, it is still happening because of the background. Okay.
You know, a woman, ideally, we were supposed to do work for men.
Oh, that's how we were told.
So we have grown up in that situation whereby a man knows that he's top, he's the top person, and for you are supposed to be a subordinate. So you find that that background has been a challenge, that a man leaves his home knowing that even where he's going, that is like a woman at home. So the forces they have at home, they forget and bring them in the offices. Those are some of the challenges. And even as nurses, we find it very hard. There is a challenge that we usually face. People think that for nurses, we think that for you are patients, and you end up talking to us badly. In fact, rudeness of patients. And for you, you're a human being. So you find that you are being harassed by this patient or the caretaker. And for you, you have to keep calm because this is a patient. But those are some of the challenges that happen. But these patients have been monitoring them. When they are talking to women, they are actually rude. But when they are talking to men, you will find that there is some difference. So you see that background of a woman and a man, and at the same time, even when you're on when it comes to terms of work that we do, these doctors think they do much, but in actual sense, we the nurses are the ones that do much. You get? When you come to the hospital, I will receive you, take you to the doctor, do all the observations. Maybe you are going for operation, you go for operation. After that, I'm the one who is going to keep with a BP machine to check how your blood is moving. I will be the one to monitor your respiration. All the time I'm the one with you. But when you recover, you will not see the woman. You say, thank you, doctor. Why did you do that? Why did you do that? So you see, those are some of the challenges. They continue saying, thank you, doctor, when actually the nurse took more time with you. Even when they worked on you, the doctor just moved, and I'm the one who was clearing to make sure you don't get infections. But at the end of the day, so we need to appreciate a woman. And it's true that when we continue talking to people, they will appreciate us. But there is no way someone can appreciate you when the person has no knowledge. So the most important thing, the most important area where we have to concentrate on is on education, trainings, to make sure people are knowledgeable.
So tell us more about this dinner. When, where, the fees, and things like that.
Wow. The dinner is going to take place in Hotel Africana. We shall start by appreciating ourselves. We shall have a theme color, orange the world, you know. This is a month where there is 25th November, the Elimination Day of Violence. So the theme color is going to be orange. You know, Africana has that scene of swimming pool, the activity of taking pictures, so that we can come out of that stress. After that, we shall have to sit down and have our session. The program, we have guests, of course. We are expecting Honorable Janet Mukwaya, the Minister for Gender Labour. We have other people in the country. We expect leaders, the women activists, they are all coming. And we are going to have our MPs. We have 5 MPs for workers. They have all of them. They are all coming and they are saying, let's be together and see what is this. We have women who are going to share their experience and how they have come out of this. Yes, so that others can feel empowered and go with that enthusiasm that, my dear friend, I can go and fight violence at work, but you know, people think that people have not seen others share. They think that it's all about suffering, but I'm sure if we continue sharing, people will feel that they have people who are even caring for them. But right now, you find someone knows that, you know, even if it happens, it's all about chasing me. They will chase me out of that job. And we find people are very, very quiet. So we need to enlighten them on the policy, on the laws, so that
it's very sad, because there are laws, people. Let's not forget that. There are laws, but though who goes through with these laws is another question. Now the fee.
The fee, we are paying 150 per person, and for a table, for those corporate tables, people are going to pay 1 million.
Okay, that's very interesting. And this is on the 8th?
8th is on 8th November.
At 4 p.m. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Birungi. I'm so impressed by what you've taken upon yourselves to make sure that you address this issue. Because what we've been seeing is that probably NGOs or private are the ones that have really been pushing for this agenda. But it's good that most of us have awakened and says that this is very, very important. We need to have more of our young people, our young females, get themselves in the workforce. And like I said, some of them don't even last there because of so many challenges that come through and move out, even in journalism itself. So these things are very true. Young girls come in and say, well, I'm not going to go through this. Let me go and find something else to do. So thank you so much. Birungi ANNET with us here. She's a nurse by profession, but also is the secretary for NOTU Women Committee. NOTU, we're talking about the National Organization of Trade Unions. And she's saying, well, we need to empower women, okay? As much as we have women in workplaces, we still need to empower them, put them in positions of decision making. Maybe that way we'll find that women can help other women solve these problems. Thank you so much, ANNET. I do appreciate. And my time has definitely run out. Thank you for watching Business Today. My name, Rowena Kajumba.